Moving ahead, viewers, the FBI says it thwarted a terrorist attack planned for New Year's Eve in North Carolina. Authorities arrested 18-year-old Christian Sturdivant from Mint Hill, charging him with attempting to provide material support to a foreign terrorist organization. Investigators said Sturdivant, inspired by ISIS, planned to attack a grocery store and a Burger King restaurant in the Charlotte suburb. He was an employee at Burger King, and officials confirmed he spent a year planning the attack. During a search of his home, authorities found notes, hidden hammers, knives, tactical gloves, and a Kevlar vest. A handwritten note revealed he hoped to die at the hands of the police. FBI officials stressed that the attack was prevented just in time, avoiding what could have been a national tragedy. Alright, I request Shruti to join me back in the discussion here. Shruti, it's striking now, how many people are getting inspired by ISIS. I don't know what means are they using, online radicalization, or if they're meeting some people, they're carrying out these covert, asymmetric warfare in every part of the world now, How do you see this particular development and the overall situation as far as the resurgence of ISIS affiliates is concerned?
Well, ISIS provides you with a quick ticket to heaven by sacrificing your life in the name of jihad and Islam, right? And that is the shortest route that humans want. They want life beyond life is what something scares human as a psychology. And when they find this short ticket, this guaranteed fast quick way path to heaven, they want to grab it with both hands. And if it comes with the hyper glorification of someone who attacks somebody who's not of their faith and not of their thinking or inclining, it is an added let's say currency in terms of let's say spiritual currency. If they're glorified, they're celebrated by people, then it's added spiritual currency for them. So they feel they've left their mark there. As you have just said, that you do not know how ISIS and Muslim Brotherhood or Al-Qaeda and all of these really terrible organizations are able to find their way into the hearts and minds of the youth of today, specifically in the West. Now that is where the folly of the West lies. They have decoupled themselves from family values. It doesn't matter whether they are Christian values, whether they are Hindu values, whether they are even Muslim values. They have decoupled as a family. They don't function together. They just seem to live together. The societal values are collapsing, and this leaves a huge vacuum in the minds and hearts of the youth, which is where the deep dark web, the internet era, kind of finds their roots into the hearts and minds of people. And therein where blooms this beautiful tree of ISIS, and the lovable fruit, or the apple if you want to call of that tree, is jihad, which is where they want to find their moment of glory. Their 15 seconds of fame is trying to blow themselves up on video, although ISIS does not specifically require them to provide video proof, but it is always encouraged that if you do something and it is caught on video, it is recorded and then presented to the world as part of their propaganda, then you get added credit in ISIS. If you are alive after that, you become one of their leaders. They give you a small force to control and other minds to manipulate. And if you die while doing that, they celebrate your death. They mark their name in whatever black book, red book, green book that they have, and say that these are the people who sacrificed their life and they deserve a ticket to heaven. So it's a very difficult phase that the West is going to, and the only solution is when the parents, the society start introspecting and finding out where they have left the gaps for something like this to infiltrate and take root.
But it's also commendable here how the FBI has been able to thwart this attack, because unfortunately that could not happen in Australia.
It is commendable for the FBI, but the FBI was looking at something like this. From the reports that I'm reading today morning, is that they've been looking at something like this since 2021. So they knew that the youth in USA, specifically in certain sections, are compromised. Now look at the name of this man. His first name is Christian, and he's joining ISIS Do you understand how far this man would have walked from the religion of his birth to take on the flag for ISIS? It's a very deep, dark march that has gone through, the amount of brainwashing they would have gone through. And if the FBI knew that this is happening, why are they not able to shut down
But
the
I wouldn't
places?
say that even somebody who's born in Islam has not undergone the same amount of brainwashing, right? So it's I mean I would.
It is not a Muslim that does this. These are fundamentalists.
Yeah.
Not every Muslim would want to blow themselves up by tying a bomb to their waist. It is at least not a logical one, or at least I hope not a logical one. Would want to blow them up in the name of Allah. I don't think that is the ideology that should be presented in the name of Islam, but this is the one that is sold in the name of ISIS and Al Qaeda. And the people that get caught in this web are unfortunately cannot be helped. They have walked too far off into that dark lane to be called back to the light.
And you know why I mentioned about commendable role of for the FBI is also because it's not like the Australian authorities did not know about it. They also were warned of these anti-Semitic attacks, but they couldn't take action. But the FBI has been able to do that successfully, so I think that's noteworthy here.
It is noteworthy. I will not see. You have to understand that there are at least 1,000 planned and thwarted, and only one gets through. The one that gets through is the one that makes the splashes across the newspapers and news bites. And for the Bondi attack that we are talking about, or any other attack across Western Europe that is happening, the security agencies are doing their job. It's just that it's like a sieve. How many will you catch? There will be someone that there'll be one ball that you lose, and that is the one that's going to make the blast. So FBI does deserve its credit, but I would also like to ask if they knew there were undercover officers whom he interacted with, and then they knew that he's actually going to go forth with an attack, is when they kind of brought him down. But if they knew that this kind of an ideology is being propagated, why not shut off the tap there? Why not shut it off there? Why not try and find regulations that can control this? That is something as a society the West needs to look at. Even Australia needs to look at. They were watching that man from a very long time. That young boy, he was on their list. He was talking to hardliner fundamentalists who currently stays on their watch list. So when you know that people are interacting with them, why not find remedial action rather than find excuses for it after an attack has happened and lives have been lost? Here, FBI has done their job. They were more alert after the Bondi attack. Probably New Year's and Christmas and Halloween and all these things bring out the worst in humanity. And we've known this as a news presenter and anchor yourself. You would know that every year during this time, the loonies come out and people try and do the worst of the worst, try and bring down the celebration of the world to a halt or on its knees. So they know that this is happening. They just they try and find the best way to control it. The agencies deserve credit, but there is more that they can do, or at least more that we expect as society from them to do.
Oh, certainly. But Shruti, thank you very much again for joining me in this discussion. And we move ahead now, viewers.